This is the Top Gun Show, the Top Gun Show. With Steve Welcome to the Top Gun Show. This is the Top Gun Show, the Top Gun Show with Steve Farmillo.
Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome Jonathon Parker Stafford, also called JPS, the CFO and CTO of Granite Telecommunications, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. As the CFO and CTO, he's responsible for financial strategy, monitoring and evaluating overall corporate financial strategy, emphasis on bottom line performance, and working capital to enhance member value. What that means is he just makes us more profitable, and he's done it. He enabled net income growth of 7%, increased annual earnings, which is about $195 million. Now that's more than most of our competitors' sales in a year. So you've added that to the bottom line. So thank you. You've made us a solid and a better company. And Jonathon, you made it, my friend. You made it to the Top Gun Show.
Thank you. Pinnacle. Pinnacle of my career in telecoms today.
There you go. Well, hey, I wanted to have you on because most of the time a CFO, CTO, well, I'm going to talk about more CFO things. Yep. Most of the time in a company like ours, $1.8 billion, a CFO comes in and gets the X-Acto knife out and carves out expenses and tries to make more profitable, a lot of times with an emphasis on going public or just cleaning up the income, the P&L or the balance sheet.
Yep.
But you've come in with a kind of a different strategy. I mean, you've done that, as I just mentioned in the intro, $195 million to the bottom line. I'm sure Rob loves that.
Yeah.
But you were on a company call that I was in the room for, and you talked about some of the changes that we're making at Granite under your leadership to make Granite easier to do business with. Now, again, $1.8 billion in recurring revenue. We must be somewhat easy to do business with. But let's talk about that initiative. What led you as the CFO to go down that path?
Yeah, sure. No, well, thank you for having me on. I think the beauty of dealing with a company like Granite, the fact that we're private, we take a long-term view. We're not driven by quarterly performance. And so the state of the business is very healthy, it's very robust, and we want to grow and continue to grow. We've done that over the last 20 years, year over year. And so I just came in with the view that we needed to make some tweaks. We needed to invest in our IT infrastructure to allow us to get to that next stage of growth. And part of that was really looking at how we do business with our customers, how we do business with our channel customers, and look at those areas and how we can propel our growth forward.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And there's a buzz about it too, because it is some of the initiatives that you talked about are really making a difference already. So
yeah, and I think the other benefit of Granite as well is we can rapidly evolve. We've spent the last 2.5 years really building out our IT infrastructure. We've moved most of our operations to the cloud. We're heavily reliant now on Salesforce as our key operating platform, and we've been able to build off that.
Yeah.
And some of the initiatives that I think you're going to ask me about is sort of core around that. We're able to release them quickly.
Yeah, it's great. And again, we're not doing it so that we go public or sell a company. Rob has no intention of doing that.
Nope.
And that's why there's 2,500 people here that are like, hey, Rob, go, man, go.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. No debt. I know you got a line of credit, or $400 million. I think that's to buy the Top Gun Show, isn't it? But,
well, yeah, and the equipment for our customers.
Okay, well that's probably more important.
Yeah.
So talk about a couple of the initiatives that you covered in the Monday morning meeting.
Yes. So first of all, we've also been focused on customer retention. And part of that is making it easy to do business with Granite. And the first initiative we've really sort of driven back half of this year and going into 26 is really auto pay and credit card processing. And for some of our smaller customers, getting an invoice from us every month and making that payment and not being able to do it via auto pay or monthly credit card via our online bill portal was a challenge. And so we've released that. We've also released it now, so part of our G360 suite, which is our customer online portal, a customer can now go in, quote for services, and then part of that quoting process, they can sign up for auto pay at that point in time.
Nice.
So very similar process as when you're going to a car and a checkout of whether you're buying online groceries or online purchase on a website. You can sign up for auto pay at that point in time and choose, at what point during the month, you want the payment to go out.
Yeah.
So small business, cash flow is important. You can select when you want to pay Granite.
That's a great point. A lot of people think of Granite as only wanting multi-location, multi-region, multi-device, which we do.
We do.
90 of the Fortune 100 do business with us for a reason. And these smaller SMB type of customers, I'll call them transactional purchases.
Yep.
Having something like AutoPay makes that a frictionless experience for them.
Right.
And it gets our money faster, and there's less hands on it. And so, the emphasis on automation and to self-drive that revenue is amazing. What are some other things that you've brought to the table?
Yeah. So, historically, the telecoms business has been very paper heavy, very antiquated in processing of information. And so what we've also released is the ability to effectively drag and drop your current invoice from your current providers onto our portal. We call it invoice extraction and drag and drop. So literally you're dragging the folder of your PDF from a current provider into G360, and then it will automatically generate a quote from what services we can provide at a comparable rate.
Yeah, that's great. That's a huge, and I've seen the demo, and anybody out there who wants to see it, you can contact me and I'll do the demo. But I know we just released our new mobility, dual SIM smartphone program.
Yeah. And
I've talked to some end users through my sales partners, and they're like, hey, I've got 1,000 phones out there, but I don't have time to give you a list and all that. I'm like, perfect.
Yep.
Drag and drop.
Yeah. Just give us your last invoice with all of those handset details on there. You can drag and drop it. It will read it and fire you back a quote.
Nice.
And so we're very excited about that.
Good. What else? What else did you cover?
So we've really been developing G360 as the pinnacle of that's where you want to go if you want to do business with Granite, especially on the small and medium-sized business. And so we've also, with a lot of our channel partners and real estate partners, developed a white label version of G360. This will allow customers to have their own look and feel on a portal that we've essentially, the backbones of Granite, it's run on Granite software, but you can personalize that for your own company logo. So effectively, you've got the robust infrastructure of Granite, a very large company behind you, but you can pitch that as your own portal.
Yeah,
and all of the back-end processing will happen.
That's great. So if you're out there and you want to see that, I can do a demo. But also, you don't have to spend $30 million like we did to develop that. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, then lastly, just briefly talk about the API connectivity that you talked about.
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of people will say, well, that's pretty standard, right, in today's world. But what we've done is taken it a step further and catalogued all of our APIs on G360 so that you can pick and choose what level of connectivity you want to have with Granite.
Yeah.
So within G360, you can obviously access Express, you can order circuits, knock Express, you can raise repair tickets because circuits, do go down, there are repair issues. And so through our API catalog, you can pick and choose. And so it's no longer, have to liaise IT to IT. You may not have a big enough IT department to take this on because, everyone has their projects phased out for this year. And what this allows you to do is integrate with Granite very quickly. Yeah,
that's great. And a lot of people, we were talking before we went on the air here, that a lot of companies say, well, we do API integration. But in reality, they're like, tell me what it is and we can build it for you. So to have a preset catalog of API integration is a huge advantage to the customers as well.
Yeah, we think so.
Well, Jonathan, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun Show.
I am.
Can I keep the mug?
Can I keep the mug?
You can keep the mug.
Right,
you can keep the mug. I want to ask you a personal question.
Yep.
If you could meet anybody dead or alive, who would you want to meet, and what would you ask him or her?
Well, it's a bit of a cliche, but it'd be Winston Churchill. I'm from the UK, big fan of history, and our family motto is never give up. ever, which was a famous quote by Winston Churchill. So I would probably ask him, how he sort of kept going in his leadership role when he was really up against it, and what he could glean from that, really.
Yeah, that would be. I'd like to interview him myself.
I think so.
I think he wants to be on the Top Gun Show. I feel it somehow. And I think we're related because I'm from England, or the Farmiloe family is from Lincoln. And I was telling you that there's a Farmiloe building in England.
Yeah.
I haven't been there, but my brother and my nieces and nephews and stuff, my son's been there.
Yes.
So maybe we'll go back there together someday. You can show me around.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds good to me.
Well, my friend, thank you. I know how busy you are. Thank you for carving out time out of your schedule to be on the Top Gun Show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you.